The front door clicked open with the tired sigh of a man who had survived traffic, emails, and the mysterious politics of office coffee machines. My husband stepped inside, dropping his bag with the grace of a collapsing giraffe. And right there in the living room stood our 6-year-old daughter, curly hair bouncing like tiny springs, big innocent eyes, hands politely folded behind her back. If you didn't know her, you would think Angel. If you did know her, you would think something is about to happen. She turned slowly toward the door like a tiny actress hearing her cue. "Daddy," she said in the softest voice known to humanity. My husband melted immediately. The poor man never stood a chance. "Hi, sweetheart," he said, opening his arms. She ran to him with the enthusiasm of a puppy that had just discovered gravity. Hug, spin, giggle, adorable. Then she stepped back, looked up at him with those enormous eyes and delivered the line. "Daddy, do you still love mommy?" Now my husband froze. This is the kind of question that arrives like a surprise pop quiz from the universe. "Of course I do," he said cautiously. She nodded very seriously, like a tiny judge in a curly-haired courtroom. "Even if mommy maybe broke something?" From the kitchen I immediately shouted, "HY." My husband looked at me. I looked at him. Our daughter looked at both of us like a cat watching two fish argue about water. "What broke?" he asked. She leaned closer to him and whispered loudly enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. "The blue vase. The blue vase. The fancy one. The one that had survived 3 houses, 2 moves, and 1 overly curious cat." My husband slowly turned toward me. I walked into the living room with my best expression of innocent confusion. "What blue vase?" I asked. Our daughter gasped. "Mommy, you said we weren't supposed to talk about it." She clapped both hands over her mouth in theatrical horror. My husband's eyebrows rose like 2 suspicious caterpillars. I stared at my daughter. She stared back. Those big eyes sparkled. Behind them I could practically hear tiny gears turning. The mind of a miniature villainous strategist. "Sweetie," I said carefully, "who broke the vase?" She sighed like a tired detective forced to reveal the truth. "Well, I was playing princess," she explained. "Of course," my husband said. "And then my castle was the table. Naturally. And the dragon was the pillow. Reasonable. And then the dragon attacked the castle and the princess had to escape, but the table got wobbly and the vase jumped." "The vase jumped?" my husband repeated. "Yes," she said confidently. "That sounds like physics," he muttered. She nodded. "Very dangerous physics." Then she added with perfect timing, "Mommy saw it happen." I blinked. "Did I?" She nodded again. "Yes. And you said." "Oh no. That part might be accurate," I admitted. My husband crossed his arms, trying very hard not to smile. "So let me get this straight," he said. "The dragon attacked the castle, the vase committed a spontaneous jump, and Mommy witnessed the event." "Yes," our daughter said proudly. Then she added the final masterpiece. "But Mommy said you love her anyway." I burst out laughing. My husband shook his head. This child had just constructed an entire emotional defense strategy, using dragons, physics, and marital loyalty. 6 years old, curly hair bouncing, face glowing with victory. My husband knelt down to her level. "Sweetheart," he said, "next time the dragon attacks the castle, maybe move the vase first." She considered this, then nodded thoughtfully. "Good idea." Pause. Then she leaned closer and whispered to him. "But Daddy," Mommy still said, "Oh no," very loudly. I threw a pillow at her. She shrieked with laughter and ran away, curls flying, giggling like a tiny cartoon villain escaping through a trapdoor. My husband watched her run down the hallway and smiled. "You're right," he said. "She's sweet." I nodded. Then I added, "But never forget, behind those big innocent eyes is a brain planning its next operation."